Alaska is stunned beneath the blows of one of the mightiest quakes in history. All the nuclear bombs yet exploded would not have reached such destructive energy a quake loosed. Anchorage, the largest city in the 49th state, was also one of the hardest hit by the massive tremors that began just when its 100,000 inhabitants were starting home at the evening rush hour. Whole blocks sank into the ground. People died in the wreckage of this new 5-story building. Although during the first dark hours it seemed that the loss of life would have to be immense, casualties later proved to be almost miraculously few. A more recent estimate put the number of deaths at less than 100, but property losses may run anywhere from $350 to $500 million. The residential section of Anchorage, generally located in hills above the business area, experienced comparatively fewer gaping fissures of the earth. Even so, there were many. They were terrifying and they were destructive. Houses were knocked every which way, endways, sideways, upside down. Again, the wonder, aside from the awesomeness of the catastrophe itself, is that so few people were destroyed along with their homes as they went pulling down into the crevices. Whole villages on Kodiak Island were wiped out, and first reports were that 50 people had been killed. Later it was that no one had died. However, the fishing boats were thrown about like broken toys, and since a large part of Alaska's and practically all of Kodiak's is based on fishing, this is a serious loss indeed. It will take months to get the fleets in full operation again. Alaska was declared a disaster area, but it will take an act of Congress to provide enough money to rehabilitate it. Seward is another town near the epicenter of the quake and received its full fury. A danger not present in other places was fire from exploding gasoline storage tanks. Fortunately, the weather was relatively warm in northernmost state, so there was no fear of freezing. Another fortunate factor was that the accompanying tidal waves, which raced across the Pacific at 450 miles an hour, hit a tide. Elmendorf Air Force Base, which is near Anchorage, was badly shaken, but in comparison with other areas, cut off relatively lightly. But in a disaster of this magnitude, relatively can mean almost anything. Stacks in the library were up, but the books were not destroyed. The commissary is an utter mess, but goods can be retrieved. Alaska is one of the most earthquake-prone places in the world, and its people have learned the only way to deal with a quake is to pitch in and straighten up after it.